Okay, anyone lost their appetite after that one? Yeah, I definitely did. What an interesting episode this was. The Ashleys look sus. Siobhan is also looking a bit suspicious as she was rocking that black outfit along with the Ashleys, and she was placed in the middle almost like the leader. And we also had a tie to a previous episode with the opening section set in 1555 in England with Queen Mary I and Elizabeth. With this episode feeling like it left a lot of questions still out there about where it's going to go, and thus officially marking the halfway point in season 12, let's recap, break down, and explain all that there was to take away from this episode. So let's get into it. Here is American Horror Story Delicate season 12 episode 4 Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Let's start by breaking down the opening section. I'm not gonna lie, I was confused at first when this first happened on screen. But then once the scene started playing out, it started to make sense. We saw Queen Mary I essentially paying a debt due to a deal that she made. It seemed as though the figures that we saw in the previous episode on the beach, which weren't that far behind Anna, were there to collect Mary's baby as payment, as she appeared to have made a deal to have the most fruitful reign as a monarch in English history. And in return, all she had to do was give birth to the monster that was inside of her, which it looked as though had been planted there. And judging by the nails that thing had, it definitely was some kind of monster. The two Ravenhead individuals went on to be the Ashleys that we saw in the present day alongside Siobhan. So it does make me wonder if Anna is actually carrying something similar to what we saw Queen Mary giving birth to. The fact that we heard that they waited around 600 years for the creature to be born, and since the year 1555, it's been almost 500 years. So that makes me wonder if it's coming up for the time for another one of those things to be born. Considering that the monster that we saw had also been in the opening title sequence for the show, it makes me think that Anna is most probably carrying something like that inside of her, which could also be the reasoning behind why she's having these cravings for that badger that's in a disgusting state. Maybe she has to feed off of what it wants to feed on. We also saw this topic of Queen Mary making a deal with darkness before in episode 2 of the show. This was where Anna was looking at Preecher Speaks on her phone. There was a specific post that was present on the thread where it mentioned how Miss Preecher was unraveling the terrifying legend of Queen Mary's reign, and how she apparently struck a sinister deal with the devil to secure her place on the throne, so it very much ties into what the Ashleys said to Mary when they arrived there. The both of them didn't reveal their identities to Elizabeth, but we saw that they had the power to make somebody unable to have children, so it makes me think that there could be something going on with Anna for sure with these Ravenheads. Maybe Anna instigated it, or maybe she didn't. We know that Anna is definitely carrying a baby now, as was confirmed in the clinic, so could she have potentially wished for a fruitful career as an actress? Something which it seems as though is the case at the moment, and in return the sinister powers have put her in debt. Or could the deal have come from somebody else? It feels like Siobhan definitely has something suspicious about her. The fact that she was in all black, the exact same attire as the Ashleys. And also, we heard that she was using Hamish and they couldn't reveal how he came up with the concept behind the movie that she's now most known for. Could there be a deal that was made on their part that has compromised Anna and her pregnancy? It feels like that could be a strong possibility. It was definitely interesting getting the section that was focused in 1555, as it allowed room for a lot of theories whilst also shedding a bit of clarity around the suspicious nature of the Ashleys. Something which also ties into the whole satanic side of this episode was the fact that Dex's mother appeared and mentioned how she was going to be suing his father due to feeling as though he was doing some kind of satanic ritual abuse on her. So this could be what Siobhan or somebody that Anna's close to could have been doing, as Dex's mother also mentioned about having blank spots of memory, so it could explain why Anna has moments where time passes by in the blink of an eye. It's something that's definitely getting more interesting to follow, as there are a few different possibilities. What is Dex not telling Anna? There was a small moment at the start of this episode where it seemed as though Dex lied to Anna about some information that he knew. Anna told Dex that she saw Miss Preecher in town, and Dex went on to quote Cora, the receptionist at the fertility clinic, and said that Miss Preecher is just somebody who loves a conspiracy theory and most likely wouldn't be her stalker. This is a conversation that Dex wasn't present for. However, he said that Cora told the both of them when they left the clinic, which isn't the case. Cora actually said those words to Anna, and only Anna, when she was on the phone to her during the beginning of episode 2 of this season. So Dex most certainly lied about being there for that conversation, something which I feel he accidentally let slip. When I went back to episode 2, I listened to the conversation on the phone, and there was a moment where Cora answered the phone and said, "Hi Anna," to which Anna was surprised as she didn't know how it was possible that she'd know that it was her that was calling. It makes me wonder if Dex could have been present there at that time and recognized the number and then told Cora that it was Anna, hence why he ended up knowing about that conversation, as there's no other way that he would have known about it, so there could be something going on there, whether that's Dex being at the clinic when Anna isn't, or with Cora and the people that work there, so I imagine this part of the story might get leaned into a bit more as time goes on. Overall review. I thought this episode was okay. It's got me questioning and guessing, which I feel this season of the show likes to make us do. I genuinely have no idea where it could go from here, or why Anna may have this monster inside of her. I think it could be in return for a successful career, but that's just my initial first guess. I've not read the book and I'm choosing not to now because I feel like I'm quite deep into the show and I don't want to compromise the ending of it. Maybe I'll read it in between the mid-season finale and before part 2 starts, as it might get the better of me during the break, but I'll let you know because if I do, I don't want to spoil it, so I will probably steer clear. I'm definitely enjoying this season a bit more than the last season. Although there's tons of questions, the story actually feels a little easier to follow, which is good. Cara Delevingne's character at the moment feels like the most pointless one in the entirety of the show. We've heard stuff on Miss Preecher, we know Sioban feels a bit sus. We've even learned more about the Ashleys in about 2 minutes of screen time when compared to 4 episodes with Nurse Ivy. So I'm hoping we'll learn a bit more about her before the break, because it feels like there's only so many times you can show her just standing off in the distance looking all ominous, and I definitely feel like they've reached that point. All of the other characters seem to be fleshed out quite well. I would say that Nicolette is one that I'm still a bit on the fence about. I don't know whether or not she's involved, but for the moment, I have my suspicions. With the next episode being titled Preach, I feel like we're going to be learning more about Miss Preecher. Judging by the preview that was released, it looks like it's going to get very dark. And with Sioban also saying to Anna if she'd want an Oscar more than a baby, maybe that theory about it tying into Queen Mary and making a deal for a fruitful career could be the case. Time will tell, so until then, bring on next week. So, there you have it. American Horror Story Delicate Season 12 Episode 4 Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, theories and predictions and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of this episode? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.